So you can go ahead, Nitin sir and Santosh sir.
So I think we'll make it more casual in terms of getting to know the things from the author. Let me start with the frame that I am in. I am in a frame where we two of us are getting accommodated. So to the left is the one who is gracious enough, Milind, uh, who has actually helped us to keep this session from his office on Sunday. So uh, I'm connecting you guys, me and Milind from Japan, and this is a very vibrant sort of country, as you all know. So we just finished a session on how to have Japanese skills and enter Japan for almost 300 students. So this is a second session, which is very exciting too. So let's come back to uh, the agenda today. We are going to have from author's point of view when he has piloted a draft and that draft has culminated into a published book. Essentially, most of the books that you can see on the shelf, there was some space for something that Buddha would have said to the modernity in terms of people who are working 9 to 5 and post 9 to 5, people who are climbing the corporate ladders and who are not, people who are working in legal profession, people who are into cyberspace, working in cybersecurity areas, wherever people are employing their skills, their hard-earned skills, and they are earning out of it. Even for people who are not earning out of it and they are burning their brain, their sweat, this book is quite unputdownable because it touches some of our areas which are hard to discover and puts them into a line and makes it more applicable to our daily routine. So, and from there, it positions us for tomorrow's challenges. So there might be two areas where we could distinguish. This book brings out quite very well. One is the area of cognitive understanding of self. How do we see ourselves? And second part is how do we want to launch ourselves in a terrain that we imagine. So the first is more absorbed within, and second is more towards outside world. All the distinguished listeners here, I think they might have come across with this particular word, executive coach. Executive coach is like in last decade, it has grown its market. The executive coaching is now seen in the Western world as something which is very helpful and which can deliver not only the job content, the satisfaction, but also it could progress the one from midlife crisis to the another area of most fully contained job content. So this is the area which has been very close to management science, but on the other side also it also deals with the psychology and how do we take it from the models that Maslow's models we have seen in the management science, and there are some models into which we have been trained for years together. But how do we see this book as different from the books which we see otherwise in executive coaching? So let's bring in the author's view directly into it, and then I'll be just prodding him to take the discussion further so that you can also join in if you have any questions. Let's put a plan for discussion. How much time we have, Mangesh sir?
I think before we go forward, I would like to introduce two of you, the guest speaker. Sorry, this is a mistake on my part. So we have with us today the person who have just talked done the introductory speech is Nitin Salve, who is a very highly educated person from the community, and he is somebody who is building a lot of bridges across the Buddhist communities, across India, and in Japan, in Korea, in other parts of the world. So he's somebody who is like a connector, who connects a lot of dots together, and carry forth a lot of responsibilities. And he is also somebody who is an expert in the domain of what is called the startup industries and the accelerators. So has set up one accelerator for the government of Maharashtra in collaboration with the Cornell University. So today he is our guest speaker. And the main hero of the event today is Dr. Santosh Phulpagar, who is a PhD in management science. And he has had a very amazing career in terms of his achievements. So he's not just academically, has achieved excellence. For example, he was a topper in VJTI. Then later on, he went on to pursue his degrees from IIMs and IIT Delhi and IIM Ahmedabad. So you see, he's like somebody who has a lot of degrees in his pocket. But one of the things remarkably we can notice in him is his deep devotion to the Buddhist studies as well, as you can see from this book that he has cited, not just from the managerial sciences, but also from a vast array of the Buddhist texts that you can see in his book. And he has authored his wonderful book, The Buddha, the Executive Coach. And I will just take 1 minute to read his bio. Dr. Santosh Kumar Phulpagar, a highly experienced management professional, boasts an impressive industry tenure over 2 decades. So he has already put up 2 decades, like 20 years in the management domain. And he is a distinguished alumnus of the esteemed institutions such as IIM Ahmedabad, IIM Mumbai, IIT Delhi, and VJTI Mumbai. His extensive knowledge and expertise have been further enhanced through a brain-based coaching certification from the prestigious Neuro Leadership Institute, NLI. He has been actively practicing executive coaching for the past 5 years. And Dr. Fulpagar is a people-oriented individual whose exceptional ability to connect and influence people has gained him immense recognition within his professional network, be it executives, students, or professionals. Dr. Fulpagar has coached them all towards attaining admirable goals. So, with this brief bio, I would hand it over to our esteemed guest speaker and the author himself.
So thank you so much, Mangeshji, for that wonderful introduction of our author. This is the book that we are going to talk about. Some of you might have seen the link. This has been published in two formats, paperback and also hardcover. So you can order it on Amazon. To start with the discussion, let's keep a little bit of light things in the start, and then we can make it more bulky little later. So, Santosh sir, it is good if I call you sir because you have been my coach, executive coach. I remember those days pre-COVID. You used to come down from Mumbai to Pune to set my priorities in my life, including my.
I do remember, sir.
The business side of the things. So when I interacted with you in those initial days, I didn't know that you had a plan of writing such a wonderful book. And I was just imagining what kind of framework we are going to put for coaching to somebody who is into his early 40s, mid 40s, and then going to see a lot of changes in his career. So let me ask you. Start with the question: What are the general frameworks in life in executive coaching that we see around, and people are actually subscribing to them? Any short understanding of the what is life coach and
So before I talk about the framework of executive coaching, I would like to take this opportunity to first express my deepest gratitude to Mangesh Dhaivale, Nitin Salve, Dr. Anurag, and all my friends of Now Nirman Buddha Vihar, where we spent a lot of time in Delhi post VJTI days, who have influenced me a lot and attracted me towards Buddhism, Vipassana. So I would like to express deep gratitude to them, and their contribution has helped me to actually put this book through in terms of the And I also would like to express deep gratitude to all the listeners, all the people who are present in this call. Because today is a Sunday. I'm sure Sunday is a holiday time. Still, people are like million opened his office for this session, and all the people who are attending this session, my deep gratitude and sincere thank you to all of you. And I would like to actually make most out of this opportunity and share some of the things which are known to me with all of you. So the question is actually, what are the different frameworks? So there are different frameworks of executive coaching. One of the, deeply followed framework is about identifying the right goals in our life. And if you see, for anybody, actually, if you have clarity about the goal that you want to achieve, and if there is a clarity about the direction in which you want to actually pursue that goal, you will see automatically you are energized. If there is a clarity of the goal, clarity of the direction, and clarity of the actions to be taken, you will see you are energized to take the right actions. And once this, so basically the framework is setting the goals, then actually identifying the right path, because there are going to be multiple paths. But out of those paths, you need to identify the right path for yourself. There will be a lot of dilemmas, but the executive coaching helps you to actually overcome the dilemmas, whether I should follow this path or that path. And once the path is identified, you need to actually come up with some practical steps. And then along the path, if you can actually identify certain milestones. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Along the path, if you can identify the certain milestones. So for example, let's say you want to generate business from, let's say, 1 CR to, let's say, 100 CR. So you will have to, start with, let's say, 1 to 5 CR, 5 to 10 CR, 10 to 20, 20. So these are, various milestones. And when you have to move from milestone 1 to milestone 2, it will not happen automatically. Those big dreams, big aspiration that all of us have will not automatically happen. We have to take the actions, right actions, to move from one milestone to another milestone. So the framework actually says you need to take the right actions. And the next step is, you also need to review the actions, whether your actions are actually, helping you to move towards the goal. So basically reviewing the progress, and based on the progress, maybe you need to take a course correction. Sometimes, goals can also undergo a lot of transformation, but the overall journey is like this. And once you achieve this small wins, or let's say major wins, all are celebrated. So even it is a small win, you need to celebrate. Even if it is a big win, you have to celebrate. So even though this is the executive coaching framework, let me add, Nitin sir, in every framework, I have actually, in this book, tried to interwoven the Buddha's philosophies, and not just for the sake of adding it, but appropriately I have added the Buddha's suttas in this. Probably, Buddha's, if you look at the documented thing, maybe there are 10,000 plus suttas available. Maybe I have taken maybe about 50 to 100 suttas, which are very relevant to the executive coaching, and put it here. So that is a framework. Anything else, Nitin sir, I should elaborate, or should I wait for another
We
question?
have listeners, and some of them are very eclectic in terms of their understanding of frameworks and also the scientific thought process. So one of them is my friend Dr. Anurag Meshram. He is not only the CPO for Indian Railways, which is a very decorated position, but he is passed out from Cornell University. And whenever I discuss anything with him, he always, in terms of, he promotes that we should have a little bit of scientific background to every discussion. So to suit his point of view, is life coaching is scientific or it is faith driven?
I think it's a combination, Nitin sir. So live coaching, executive coaching, there are multiple facets of even coaching also. But ultimately, we have to stay focused on the goal. Why are we, getting coaches? All the big, as you said, Western world, they are actually after the executive coaching. Most of the CEOs of the Western companies, everybody will have CEO. Even the sports people will have a executive coach other than their sports coaches. Why? Because they need to have a mental strength. The executive coaching is all about, strengthening you mentally, because, in life there are many possibilities, many decisions that you can take, but you cannot walk on all directions. You are always into dilemma. So executive coaching actually helps you to clarify. So again and again, I'm highlighting Buddha's contribution has been, mind purification. Mind purification is all about programming our mind to filter out the right thoughts from the distracted thoughts. If you look at our mind is a machine of thoughts. Mind, several thoughts are coming, but out of those thoughts, we have to identify which are the useful thoughts, which are the distractive thoughts, and which are the repetitive thoughts. If you see, there's a constantly audio tape is going on in our mind about certain person, about certain situation. Same thing gets repeated, and when we actually start observing our mind, we actually start reprogramming our mind and stay focused on the goal. So we have to always, I think all of us who are born in this world as a human being are born with certain purpose. Identifying that purpose is very important. Job is important, but apart from the job, is there any purpose? And everybody, I believe, has a purpose. We are the purpose for universe to exist. Universe exists because of us. Each one of us is contributing for universe to actually, unravel some of the things that universe wants to unravel for itself. So I believe, all of us need to have a purpose, and executive coaching is just the means for us achieving that goal. And it is a very scientific method. I personally believe it is a very scientific method to achieve the goals.
So I take this liberty to assume that Dr. Anurag's, if there were some doubts, would have been fairly addressed in this answer. If not, then I would request him to put a sort of any kind of questions or any addendum if he wishes to. Is he there? Okay.
Meanwhile, Jayesh has raised his hand. Should we take Jayesh's
Yes,
question?
please. Yes. Jayesh, please.
Hi, Santosh. Yeah, that was very nice introduction, and clearly like I can see where you're relating, but I think it is a step ahead for me. If I talk personally about me, what I am battling is, I said that mindset of 9 to 5. I'm still, and I had that blocker, 9 to 5, and I have ideas, which I want to implement. And they keep repeating in my mind. As you said, the audio tape keeps playing. Oh, I have to do this. I should be doing this. And with the entrepreneurship culture that is being coming up, means I think, and obviously the caste factor also hinders me, like oh, why our community has never been entrepreneurship. We have been always being a service provider, so I want, like, the rationale, like, okay, we are service providers, so why not convert that service providing itself into a business, idea. So yeah, that's my thought line, but I'm not hesitant. Okay, should I do that, or is it a negative impression on the society, like, oh, he is a service provider, he's just doing the same thing, and will this now convert into, like, oh, this category of people are to be doing this kind of business, kind of thing. So what are your thoughts on that? If you can give me a clarity and how I can push myself to achieve, something entrepreneur, and push my ideas forward.
Thank you, Jayesh,
I
for
hope
the
it makes sense.
question. Yeah. I completely get it. You are right now into 9 to 5 job, and you think, you would like to get into an entrepreneurship journey because probably this is a, kind of a first time as a, society, or even as a family person to get into the entrepreneurship. Certain risks are there. You are more, comfortable with, comfortable in the sense you have been used to 9 to 5 kind of a role. But to answer this question, Jayesh, maybe it will require a longer session with you. But just to keep it short, I personally suggest that these are the dilemmas that all of us keep facing. Should I do this? Should I do that? Is it
Mm.
the right thing for me or not the right thing? So normally, one question that I always tell my all the executives whom I coach, saying put it into one line, saying that I would really like to do this. I really would like to do this. However, this is stopping me. So the
Mm.
moment you put this into this two lines, I really would like to do X, Y, Z. However, this is stopping me. It gives you clarity. What is that you really want to achieve in your life, and what is
Mm.
stopping you? And once you know what is stopping you, then you start analyzing, is it that thing stopping me or something else?
Okay.
So that is a short answer to this long question, but it requires a separate discussion, Jayesh. Uh,
I think Santoshji, you can relate yourself very well with Jayji, and later on you can have one-to-one, because Santoshi is actually handling a great responsibility as a CFO of a fintech company, and he knows the compulsions of working for a single employer for a quite long, and how to address to the notion of contributing to society, starting any startup or getting more active into the same role. So there are a lot of questions. So coming back to the hurdles that you have described, let's get to the micro hurdles that you have seen in your book, where the Buddha always suggested that there are five great hurdles when you start working on ourselves. So there is a Pali connotation, and then I mean, among our group, the one who has studied too much of literature, that canonical and post-canonical literature, is none other than Mangesh. Mangesh sir, uh, do you think these hindrances that he has put into the book, Executive Coach, uh, any context where we find where these hurdles actually come from, like we have sensory desire, aversion, sloth and torpor, then restlessness and doubt. These are concretely mentioned in the book, but Mangesh sir, can you give us little bit of background in terms of what Buddha would see them as?
Sir, it's better our author of the day explain what he has done in his book about these particular hindrances. So, the question to, or I will redirect the question to Dr. Santosh ji as to, one of the fundamental question that has come to my mind, that there is already an hindrance
Yeah.
of not writing a book. So, I would like to redirect the question to him, how he overcame a lot of hindrances that might have come in his way, and from where did he got the inspiration to write such a path-breaking book? So, sir, how did you tackle the hindrances that Nitin sir is talking about? And what inspired you to write such a wonderful book, sir?
I think Buddha's wisdom itself is very inspiring. Friends like you, Nitin, Anurag, Mangesh, another Mangesh, and all other friends, Milin, etc., all have been inspiration in writing this book. I have been working on writing this book for more than 2 years. It took more than 2 years for me to put it together. It has undergone several revisions. Maybe initially there were 10 chapters, then I had put one chapter on Jataka stories, but then I removed it, and several revisions have happened. And a specific question about the hindrances, uh, I believe, first I want to, relate the executive coaching with the Buddha's wisdom. If we look at, Buddha's life, at the age of 35, he got enlightenment. And then subsequently for 45 years, he traveled all over India to, educate people on his principles and teachings. He has delivered several discourses. But I believe, while he was giving these discourses, several people approached him. Some of them, let's say, kings like Ajat Shatru, businessman and trader like Anath Pindika, the bhikshus like, Venerable Sariputta, Venerable Subhuti, Venerable Ananda, and several people. I'm sure, lot of people would have approached Buddha with their challenges and difficulties in their life and seeking some solution from Buddha. So I think, the executive coaching, what is the important thing is, self-awareness about your current challenges and then identifying the right path. There are a lot of, as I said, mind is a thought machine. There are several thoughts, and you'll see that these several thoughts also have certain connection. First, you should to learn to filter the thoughts, have the right thoughts, and you'll see that these thoughts have certain connections. And when you try to connect these thoughts, you'll see sometimes the unexpected connections happen and a lot of insights come. So I strongly believe when Buddha was having this one-on-one conversation with all these kings and so many people, they all had some unexpected connections which actually generated insights in their mind. And these insights actually help them to find peace and growth in their life. So, as I said, executive coaching starts with identifying the right goals for you, and then identifying the path. On this path, when you walk, there are going to be these hindrances, and these five hindrances which Buddha has talked, and our Bandhu Nitin also has mentioned. The I think the first hindrance is the sensory feelings, because our sensations, when you are walking on the road, you see that from the restaurant the aroma is coming. Suddenly our mind is going there. So instead of staying focused on certain thing, our attention goes somewhere else. So that is about the sensory thing. The second thing what Nitin mentioned, aversion. Aversion is again also distraction. The third thing is basically the dullness. See, all of us are actually, as a human nature, it's when we are, all satisfied, everything is there, we tend to become lazy rather than, if there is no purpose, then we tend to become lazy. Like Sunday, Saturday, when it is holiday, we tend to sleep more, oversleep more. So that third hindrance is about the laziness, the dullness. The fourth is a restlessness. Our mind is always switching from one branch to the another. The Buddha has mentioned moving like monkey moving from one branch to another branch. So mind is moving from one branch to another branch. So we have to train and program our mind. That is what Buddha has taught us 2500 years back. And the last thing what Buddha has mentioned is the doubt. Doubt is the last hindrance. So these five hindrances actually stop us in moving towards our goal. So identifying the right goal, identifying the steps, and walking on these steps is important. But these five hindrances are going to be there, and that is what Buddha has told us. These are the five hindrances, and he has also told us how we can overcome these five hindrances. And that is what is covered in the book. I do not want to take everybody's time, because people should also spend time in buying the book and go through it. But whatever I have put in the book is not mine. This is all what Buddha's thoughts are. What I have done is I have tried to simplify it and put it so that every common person, every professional, every executive understands and apply it in their own work and personal life.
Okay. Great way to answer that question. I think you have put it on the responsibility on the shoulders of the readers themselves. Santosh sir, when you started this project, the audience that you thought of them to be more conversant with Pali text, or do you thought they should be more, faith-driven audience who have faith in Buddha, or what was your initial assumption? And then gradually, after you published this book, what are your thoughts now about the audience for this book?
You're right, Nitin sir. See, when I started this project, I obviously thought people who already have a familiarity about Buddhism, Buddha's concepts, will be the one who will pick up this book. But while working on this project, I was also practicing executive coaching, and you were one of my initial guinea pigs because I needed some people with whom I could practice my skill set, and I must express my gratitude. You offered your help because you also invested time in the process. So when I started this executive coaching process, I realized it is helpful to anyone who wants to actually, have certain goals or certain aspiration in life. Because, all the people think I should do UPSC, I should do MBA, I should go abroad, I should do my business, I should do, or I excel in my work. So there is always dilemma. And when you start focusing in 10 directions, you will achieve zero. Therefore, having the right direction, clarity about where you want to go, and then how you want to go. So I personally believe, apart from the people who have a familiarity about Buddhism, I believe anybody who wants to have excellence in their career and work life are the one who are going to read this book and are going to benefit out of this book.
Okay. So you have not said anything to do with the family life. There are, I think we are composed, integrated from career to our profession and our, our own well-being, and also the family thing comes in. So
Right.
the stress, we cannot define at one point of time from where the stress creeps in. So in executive coaching, do you give little, I mean, do you have any scope to discuss even your stress coming out of the family side? Like you have got the family to take care.
In
Have you
fact,
ever seen
you
that?
are absolutely right, Nitin. So, some of the CEOs, they are already very successful. They are running a big companies. Why do they need coaches? Because, many times they are not able to manage work-life balance. And what is the work-life? Work and your personal life. So when you become CEO at the age of 40, 50, 60, apart from your work pressure, targets, deadlines, the competition, you also need to take care of your own health. You also need to take care of your family, your relationships, because those are also very important. So I believe in executive coaching is very complete exercise. It is for entire 24 hours. How do you get your right sleep? How do you actually excel in your work life? And how to excel in your personal life also. And when I'm saying excelling is all about having the strong relationship with your spouse, your kids, your all near and dear ones. Even
Excellent.
that could also be a goal, improving on your health, improving on your relationship with your close ones. That could also be executive coaching goal.
So executive coaching, as we see from this book, is a quite expensive affair, Santosh sir.
Yes.
So why it is expensive?
Expensive because I think we can say that
One is the time that you
one
need
is
to
time, and
invest.
second, I think nice
Fees.
things actually are a little bit expensive, I must say. Like,
Okay.
but I think what is happening is over a time period. Earlier, it was considered as a luxury; only CEOs could afford it, and
Okay.
only CEOs needed it. But if you see, I think even the students, the executives at an early stage of their life, they also need executive coaching, because see, executive coaching is all about getting clarity about what you want to do in your life, how you want to do it in your life, and what actions you want to take, and is your mind actually focus, and are you actually course correcting yourself, are you actually celebrating some of your minor achievements, and are you expressing the gratitude, or I must say, the what we say mudita, the joy of happiness, the joy of doing something should also be there. So
I
so
think
so
I can.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyone in between can prop in, and they can put a question which is like going towards. I'm just helping Santosh to extract for the audience to see more extracted form of Santosh. Yeah. So to my close friend Milen, he has been simmering with a lot of questions in his head when he got the book, the first book in Japan that has been brought in, and he has got few questions, and uh, he has written them over, and just wanted to ask them. So Milen, please.
So actually, thank you for giving me this opportunity. So my I have just see the books, and 30 minutes I have just
Little louder.
okay. I have just saw this book, and just 30 minutes I have overlooked it, and I found that obviously the Buddha itself is a executive coach for everyone. We go Buddha, we follow him. So in certain he is a coach, but if we see at the executive level, then what do you think that what is the key teaching for the executive?
Correct. Right question, Milin. Right question. But I'll say, what is the key thing for the executive can vary at what level you are. Let's say at a CEO level, the things could be different than somebody who is at a mid level, or somebody who is at a early stage of their career, or somebody who is a student, or who are even not working as a professional but as an entrepreneurs. I think this stage could be different to different. But I think all of us, at irrespective of the position, are always in certain dilemma. You need clarity. So executive coaching actually helps you to get clarity, because executive coach actually use the thoughtful questions about your situation, because this is very personalized. This is one to one kind of thing. And Nitin can, agree, because, his journey was maybe different than somebody else's journey. Every CEO journey could be different than somebody else's journey. It has to be very personalized, thoughtful questions. And when these questions are asked, it should actually generate certain insights in the mind of the coachee. And when these insights are generated, those insights actually will lead you to take the right actions.
Okay. So it means like Buddha said, like mind is everything, because
Yes.
mind is the key for the everything.
Yes, yes. This book is all telling you that your mind is everything. You need to train your mind for you to achieve everything in your life.
Thank you.
Hi,
I think there is a
Santoshi. Sorry.
question. The books are not available outside India for sale. Probably somebody who is
Okay.
visiting India would I would see if somebody is visiting UK soon, would take them with. I have bought like 10 books to Japan in order to distribute them, and also going from here to Korea, where Santosh has already made arrangements to have 20 books there. So Jash soon will. I'll see if we can send dispatch them to UK.
Yeah, thanks, Nitin. Much appreciated. Yeah, Santoshi, you said executive coaching is for everyone. So now I'm in a mid-career, I would say, like even though I've spent 20 years in IT, but my background is basically development, more technical than into people management or anything else. And obviously with the technical background, I want to step into like obviously 9 to 5 I will continue because it's as Nitin said, family security comes first. So I want to ensure that yeah, I have my responsibilities taken care of. And but with the culture, happening all around everywhere, like recently I've been to a program where the Marathi professionals meet, the UK Marathi professionals meet, and there were just young people starting, marketing companies and all the different sort of ventures were flagged there. And the idea now is now moving, from 9 to 5 to uh, starting your own setup or having at least a second hustle, side hustle as they call it, do something and then make extra passive income along those lines. People are thinking along those lines. Yeah, but you said executive coaching was for everybody, like more or less. So in and obviously, you said it is the Buddha's teaching that we need to follow. But how do you you said you made it simple in your book. So how have you made it simple? Like, how do you say that? How to follow Buddha's teaching? If that makes sense. Sorry, I'm mumbling with my thoughts.
No, no, Jayesh, see, actually, the dilemma that you have could be slightly different than anybody else, but every dilemma is unique, and then the solution could also be very unique. And then executive coach, when if we have a separate conversation, you'll see that you yourself will figure out solution. Executive coaches will
Hmm.
not give you a solution. What executive
Yeah,
coaches
yeah.
will do, will ask you the right questions which will
Okay.
trigger the right thoughts in your mind, and those thoughts will have certain unexpected connection, and you'll say, maybe I should do this. And then once
Yeah.
you are clear about what you want to do, if that clarity is there, and if there is a clarity about the direction in which you have to progress, you'll see that you are energized to take the action. And once we start taking actions, we'll see the fruits out of it. So when you
Hmm.
said that I have tried to simplify Buddha's teaching in the book, that I have tried to do it from the executive coach's lens. I'm sure Buddha has covered several facets in life. Yes,
Yeah.
as I said, more than 10,000 suttas are there. Probably Mangesh and Nitin are the right people to talk. I have picked up maybe about 100 suttas from there and tried to interwoven with the executive coaching framework, which I described in the beginning. And that along with that framework, I have tried to simplify it, saying that when you have to set the goals, what kind of dilemmas will be there, how to get a clarity about setting the goals, then how to set the direction to achieve that goal, then when you are walking on that path, planning the actions and
Hmm.
reviewing the progress, and then celebrating certain your early wins or the major wins.
Hmm. Yeah,
That
so also like your thought, like I have obviously I said about our business ideas, I have thoughts. Is it essential to verify it with others? That is another thing I was struggling with. Or I can just pursue them and make it successful, uh, yeah,
Yes,
I
I
don't
think
know,
I
I
think
don't need
because I have
verification.
gone through, yes, I have gone through the sessions with Santosh ji.
Yeah.
Uh, And how it starts is he will come and sit with you. There is a like executive coach. This book may not replace an executive coach. Book is there, very good. This is a handbook. You can call this could be a very good starting point. But when we discuss with ourselves, our thoughts in our mind, we have no checks. So there are no checks. So an individual, an observer comes in and he asks you basic questions which are not subjected to your internal crisis that you are going through. He will ask you the definite questions where you are and where you want to go. So Santosh did that session with me initially. He made clear what are the rules of this particular exercise in initial sessions, and then he said that end of the session he will give you a task. You have to do these things so that I will come back next time. Then you have to give me a report what you have done. So every session is like enriching, and you figure it out that you have even if you did not work on those tasks, but you have still memory that he has asked me to do these things, but I am not able to finish them in time. It means that I'm so busy that I cannot take out time for myself, because these questions are only about you. So, these sessions are, I think, they are primarily run because the executive coach, second party is there.
All right. Thanks,
Right,
Nitin. That helps. Yeah.
One small correction, actually, Nitin sir. So at the end of every executive coaching session, Jayesh, I will not give any task. Basically, you yourself will write down the action that you are going to perform.
That's
so
the big
basically,
problem.
at the end of the session, you will come out, what is that I'm going to do at the end of, let's say, 2 weeks. Because normally the frequency of the session is alternate week. So every fortnight we do the sessions. So it is supposed to be, and the session is supposed to be ended with the actions agreed by the coachee, that this is what I'm going to do, and after 2 weeks the discussion happens around that. Just small correction here.
All right. Lovely. Thank you. That helps.
And Santoshji, how would you take the model of Kalyan Mitrata, which is there in Buddhist world? The Buddhist worldview is you need to have some senior who could hold your hand. He could answer your some questions, your spiritual questions, and also he would be responsible to some of your acts. Is there a responsibility of an executive coach in the process when we talk about executive coaching in a modern terms? And other way, if we talk executive coaching in a seeing Buddha as a coach, is there a responsibility of a coach? If there is any, can you tell us?
Yeah, I think
I think first and foremost is data privacy, right? Data privacy. No leakage.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, executive coach is not directly responsible, but executive coach can enable you. Buddha can, enable you, but you only need to walk on the path. If you do not walk on the path, you cannot hold executive coach responsible. Why I didn't achieve the $100 million business? Executive coach can only ask the right question, trigger those thoughts in your mind, and help you to identify the steps or actions that you need to take. But if you do not take those actions, executive coach or Buddha cannot be held responsible.
That's right. And you have done so much of coaching sessions with so many clients. Have you come across with your coachee, sometimes he becomes angry in the session, or sometimes he is too emotional, and he breaks down? Does it happen?
It does happen, but that is the job of the executive coach, to ensure that there is a calmness, there is a patience in that 1 hour session. The entire focus of that 1 hour call, the normal executive coaching sessions are for 1 hour. The entire focus of those calls is around the coachee, the executive who is getting coached, and nothing to do with the executive coach's agenda. It is the agenda of the coachee. And in the process, because it is the agenda of that person, there could be, certain emotional outburst.
So
again, one more thing I would like to tell: all people cannot be coached. It is also said that, in the literature of coaching, it is said Everybody cannot be coached. Some people cannot be coached, but most of the people can be coached.
Okay. And do do you think that the people who undergo this coaching, if they have a bit of faith element in Buddha, because this book is taking lot of cues from the Tripitaka, and do you think that faith will play a significant role?
Definitely, definitely.
What are the benefits if somebody comes to you with the prior faith in Buddha? And what are the benefits that you see in the sessions or post sessions?
See, it is like, belief that, if people are already have a strong belief in Buddhism or Buddha's teaching, and, if somebody relates that the executive coaching is based on the teachings of Buddha, people are, that itself is a first buying.
More receptive.
Yeah. And then, see, as such, if you look at the literature of executive coaching, it is not related to any religion. But then when I actually, studied executive coaching, and when I actually studied the Buddha's literature, I found there is a lot of similarity, and that is how I have put this book together.
Wonderful. So that connects you to the larger audience then. I mean, you can use the same kind of methods that you said that you got it from Buddha and from the Buddha Shasana. You can use them to even cater to the audience which is not so much attracted because of faith element, but they are in general wanting to go from position 1 to position X.
Yes.
So that is good to have.
You rightly said that position A to position B.
Yeah. So we have seen that you have been very much recommended. This book is by Stephen Batchelor, and Stephen is like one of the great writers and authors of modern times on Buddhism, and he has written a book called Buddhism Without Belief. That's very interesting title. So Buddhism Without Belief, an author writes that Buddha, the executive coach, skillfully unites the practical philosophy of Buddha with the practice of coaching in the context of contemporary workplace. Well versed in both these fields, Dr. Santosh Kumar Phulpagar is eminently qualified to weave these seemingly different traditions together. So what are the differences in these traditions?
I believe, path could be different, but the goal is same.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Since you talked about Stephen Batchelor, I must, express my gratitude to Mangesh brother. When Stephen actually traveled to Mumbai, it was Mangesh who had invited all of us actually for a meeting with him at Chaitya Bhumi. We went there, we met him, and then actually Stephen actually conducted 4 online sessions on the same topic that you just mentioned, Buddhism Without Belief. And Mangesh ji actually, helped us to organize those calls. And that is how I stayed connected with Stephen, and I requested him to actually, write the foreword. But he said that, instead of foreword, I will write the endorsement for the book, because I'm not very familiar about the executive coaching. But if you look at the foreword is for this book, actually there are 2 important people. One is Stephen Batchelor, who has written the endorsement, but there is another very important person whose name is inside the book. His name is Venerable Kalden La. His real name is actually Ujjwal Tangadge. He has done his BTech from IIT Mumbai, MBA from IIM Kolkata. He was working with investment bank, and now he has become a monk. He is associated with Dalai Lama's one institute in Karnataka, and he was kind enough to actually write the foreword for this book. And I am deeply grateful to both of these scholars.
Yes, I can see that he has quoted Sutta Nipata.
Yeah, Sutta Nipata. I think Subhash Arya has some question. Can we take that question?
Yeah, Subhash, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Javim, to all. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. First of all, I congratulate for coming up with this wonderful book, unique title, Buddha the Executive Coach. I derive my question from Baba Sahib's writing on Buddha and Karl Marx, where he enunciated that Buddha's teaching is so ancient, whereas Karl Marx is very modern. Similarly, the executive coaching or executive development programs are also very new, modern, and very contemporary topic. And you try to connect Buddha's teaching with this executive coaching. So in the similar way, I will put like this: what are the research gap in the present executive development program or in the coaching which you try to fulfill with the Buddha's teaching? So this is one question. And another question is that just 2 years back, I was visiting VCT. I met Professor Abhay Bambole, head of structural engineering department.
Yeah, he's
I
good friend
saw,
of ours.
Engineering department.
yeah, structural engineering department. I saw a book, Milind Panna, on his table in the office. I was along with my student. So surprisingly, I just asked, sir, you are reading this book? So he told, yes, this book is very helpful for my managerial skill. He happened to be at that time head of the department. So I could not continue that talk. But if you can further elaborate that, yes, in what way that Milind Panna is maybe playing the role in executive development. And recently, Mangesh sir also conducted one session on some Buddhist economics. In Myanmar, I think this is the already prevailing model. So just trying to connect. I hope my question makes some sense, sir. Over to you.
Yes, Subhash Aryaji, I think your question is very relevant and valid question. So, in the interest of time, I will say that, there may be a lot of research gaps between, the current executive program vis-a-vis, the Buddha's teaching. One gap I would like to highlight is, most of the executive development programs are focused on certain skill set, be it a leadership skill, be it about, some technical skill. Whereas I think Buddha's teaching is all about, training your mind. It's all about mind. And I think once we
Cultivation of
understand
the mind.
this, that if we can, train, reprogram our mind, lot of these skills actually, are byproduct of it.
Can be acquired.
That is a short answer,
Yeah,
but I think we can always get into an elaborate answer. But I think in separate session, Subhash Aryaji.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Subhaji, you talked about Milind Panna. Milind Panna is a book which holds so much of significance for especially graduates who are in their third year or fourth year. And the format of book is so enticing. It's in question answer format.
Yeah.
And it deals with very typical question. What is your name? So it starts with that, and then it leads to what is nirvana. So the Baba Sahib himself recommended this book, and this book was so important for Baba Sahib that he has said somewhere, if Mangeshji can correct me, that I would like every student to be like Milinda, and every teacher, yes.
Yeah.
And the Milind College, even the name Milind comes from King Milliander, who is the protagonist in this particular book, where he asks a lot of questions. And those questions, if you see the answer format, I think they are nothing but the inner voices of ours. Sometimes we ask questions to ourselves but never get the answers. And this is how the tradition, tradition of question and answer, it comes from the Buddha Sasana.
Correct.
And we can see that progressing ahead in the executive coaching, I think question and answer is one of the typical facets of executive coaching, if I'm not wrong, Santoshji.
Yes, very much.
We have to go deep down in 3 levels of ourself. One is myself, social self, family self, and then also the self that is distributed into career, economy, and things like that. How do we deal with in different conditions? And then we try to figure out, Santoshji, this question is to you. We feel that we have been distributed in different spheres. In the modern executive coaching, they also take you out from those spheres. They would like only you to see as you are the CEO of company, and the executive coach will come and talk to you about that only angle he will take. Whereas in the traditions, Buddhist traditions, we see as individual is an integrated human being. And when you go, let's imagine when you go out talking to Buddha and considering Buddha as an executive coach, and if you refer to him a question, Buddha, I lost my promotion. I was about to get promoted, and then some B series came in, and then took a chance, and he got promoted. And I was, because of my background, I could not get that position. So, what do you think, Santoshji, that Buddha would answer in this situation? If this is the, I mean, hypothetical question.
So Nitin sir, actually, in my book, actually, I have talked about circle of life. There I have talked about 8 dimensions in life. Career is just one of the dimension. There are 7 more dimensions actually. Um, so definitely family, the relationships are very important. Your health is also very important. Your finances are important. Finances are not only just because of your career. Finances, as I think Jayesh mentioned, there could be passive income. So there are several things. It is not just career and that is what I think executive coaching addresses. And CEOs, the CXOs, all of them have dilemmas not only about their professional life, they also have dilemmas about their personal life. And all that gets discussed with the executive coaches. So normally we recommend that executive coach works with the coachee or the executive for 2 or 3 goals. It is not just one goal, Nitin sir. There are
Okay.
normally 2 or 3 goals, and these goals are distinct goals.
Okay.
They are not the same goals, or they are not interlinked goals. There could be interlinkage because if you're happy in your personal life, you're likely to be more energetic in your work life.
Yeah.
But
So
then
I would relate it with King Ashoka, who could be the bigger CEO than King Ashoka. I mean, he
correct.
himself controls so much of landmass and so much of institutions he has given birth to. Even today, we have got reminiscences of those things. In the back end of his life, he dedicated all his whatever earnings to the Buddha Shasana, and he thought that Buddha is the only coach to whom he should go refuge to. Even if personally Buddha was not there, there were monks who were acting as Kalyan Mitras to King Ashoka. And probably I think there has to be research that goes into that in the time in those timeline on those timelines, and take out some of the analogies and put it in the modern context. But none other than then he was motivated to send his kids. Like one was his Mahindra. So Mahindra never got into acquiring the landmass, but he became the executive coach himself in that way, and training the kings of the Sri Lanka. So with that name Mahindra, we have got Mahendra Ingde here, who himself has practiced almost 5 to 10 years. I don't know, but long time he practiced executive coaching, but he calls it differently. And he's going through this book and finding. I think he's here. May I ask him to introduce himself, Mahendra ji? Mahendra ji, आप हैं
Yes,
यहाँ
yes,
पे?
yes,
हाँ
yes.
जी.
And hi.
Yes. Yeah, great to see you.
Thank you, Nitin, for this invitation. And I'm very happy to read the book of Santosh Phulpagar. I know him
Thank you,
since
sir.
1992, 94. And one of the best book I have ever read. It is just not yet finished, but just reading. And what got you here? What will not take you there? What is one of the executive coaches? Anthony Robbins. And there are 3, 4 coaches. As you rightly said, they are talking on the periphery. Hitting at the bush, hitting at the main, and annihilation of cost. Baba Sahib said, hit on the roots, not on the bush. And I was listening carefully to Santosh. He said, all executive coaches, they talk about different things. But Buddha talk about training the mind. And mind is everything. And as Nitin rightly said, since my VJTI, since 1998, I am into coaching and mentoring. I resigned from a VJTI engineering career, and I am completely into coaching. I have trained 4 lakh people now,
Very good.
certified by Hero Honda, Birla, Aptech, Mahindra, all the training companies. But as Milind Prashna said, and said, I was the in charge. He said that Mahendra, be like a Naksena Bhanteji and be like a lion and a Charvak Pakshi. Take humble offerings and quietly teach. Do not reveal your talent to the masses. In this context, with all my 30 years of experience, I am very happy that Santosh wrote such a beautiful book. And I have already promised him last week that this book will be promoted by me in Maharashtra in all years. And there will be a sessions, live programs, and already 5 professors who are in Marathi. Here they have taken a vote to arrange your program after purchasing the book.
Thank you very much, sir.
Amazing book, and surprisingly, I'm very first I should thank to Nitin for inviting me this, and this is amazing coaching program. It is very systematic, amazing, and I am part of it. Thank you so much. Yes.
And to all the audiences,
very good, very proud to be.
Mahendra Ingre sir is already into the coaching, and he has got a Gold Life Coach program, which runs for 1,000 hours. And you can subscribe to it. He's basically doing it with the CXOs, and he can be available. He can drop in his contact numbers and his URL here. So going back to the book, basically this book is very by its virtue has got a timeless wisdom. So he has collected a lot of suttas from different sources, and I'm essentially very thankful to Santoshji, because if you go and read the Tripitaka, it is a big ocean. You cannot find out something which is relevant to your career or your present context. But this book has taken very essential, suttas from the different, whether it is Pitakas or it is, Dhammapada. So my guess is, Santoshji, how much time you took in compiling this?
2 years.
We all are indebted. The way you have done 2 years of research and used, I think it is going to. I mean, everybody is going to see to it that their progression happens with a happy mind, and this book becomes more and more, sought after in times to come. When I'm traveling to Korea and Japan, these areas, because the culture here is mostly, they have absorbed so much from Buddhist tradition, that significantly they have in their behavior inbuilt some of the things. First is the receptivity to Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. So that is there. But still, they would appreciate, because I have talked to some of them, some of my friends, Japanese and Korean friends. They said that this thing was missing, that we really wanted, because in a Oriental culture like this, in East, people want to send their kids to US, UK for further education. And when they get to learn in Cambridge, I think in Oxford, they have got the session on mindfulness. And there are even the BA honors, the economic honors students have to take that course in mindfulness. And you have taken up, even Kalden Bhante is talking about mindfulness, the awareness, into this book. So the families who are sending the kids to West, and the kids are getting to know Buddha through West, is a kind of very
yes, a contrast.
Contrasting situation. It's like Buddha was, we have been all life, we have had lived by Buddhist values, and then all of a sudden we get to know that mindfulness is being taught in the universities in the West. Now slowly this Buddhist psychology, you say, the mindfulness of breathing, you say, these are coming to the mainstream. What is your idea projection going ahead? Do you think more and more literature would be coming in on this side of the things in executive coaching? Is the Buddha going to be?
I feel so. I feel so, because I think it has already generated a lot of interest. As you mentioned, Western world, Western universities are already teaching courses on mindfulness based on Buddha's teaching. So I believe, I think Buddhism is the fourth largest religion in US. And it is already followed in 150 plus countries actually in the world. So Buddha's teaching has been followed across the globe. Maybe, the path in which they are following is slightly different, but then I think the end goal is same actually. And that's what we have to appreciate. All of us are different. Everybody is unique. Sometimes I feel, Mahayana, Theravada, these are only different ways of reaching to the same goal actually, and all of us are different. Some are introvert, some are extrovert, so uh, I personally believe that more and more literature will come in this area. And I think in the interest of time actually, Nitin sir, maybe I'm not sure whether we should conclude, but if we have to conclude, I'll just say few things. Dhammapada, there is verse 13 and 14 actually, 13 and 14. 13 verse says that, like house, if our house roof is not strong, it is weak, the heavy rain will actually break it. So that is verse number 13. So similarly, if the mind is not trained, the lust will penetrate in it. The attachments will penetrate it. Attachment is the basic cause of all suffering. And the verse number 14 says that if your house roof is strong, even the heavy rain will not penetrate it. So similarly, if your mind is well trained, then the lust will not penetrate it, the attachments will not penetrate it. And I think, if we have to succeed in whatever purpose we find for ourselves in life, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether our career, whether it's our health, finance, I think we will achieve that as long as our mind is well trained and strong. That is what I will say if we have to conclude, Nitin sir. Otherwise, we can continue. Mangesh sir.
I think we have had a fairly long discussion and very good discussion. So before we conclude, if anybody has anything to remark or any passing question on their mind, so we can take up a few questions and spend another 5 minutes on that. So anyone, you have heard the author so far and the guest speaker. So if you have anything to, offer as a way of comment or a question, please go ahead. I think that this interaction between the author and the guest speaker was very conclusive, that it seems that you don't have any doubt about the topic. I think we are all convinced that we need coaching, not only in the sports domain, but also we need coaching in all the domains. So we have, if anybody would like to seek the executive coaching, this is a good, starting point to get this book. It's available in the market now, and it's available in Amazon at 499 rupees, and it's available in Nagpur as well. So if anybody would like to have a copy, they can contact me, and I can give you the copy with some discount, 10% discount. And the author will be available in Nagpur on the 10th September. So there is the release, Central India release of the book on 10th September, 4 o'clock, and we will announce the venue. So you are all more than welcome. So before we end, we will have author to have his last word on today's discussion.
So I personally, wish, this is my deepest wish, that everybody who is on this call should find direction, meaning, and internal strength to achieve whatever they wish to achieve in their life.
So thank you so much for all of you joining at such a short notice. We announced only yesterday, and a lot of people have joined in today. This is very rare an occasion that so many people are joining, and it shows that people are having tremendous interest in the book. And I hope we all hope that your book reaches to the wider audiences and bring the much needed change in their lives. So with the permission of guest speaker, Nitinji, yeah.
I think most of us know Mangesh sir very well, that he brings in our life very interesting things when we think that nothing is happening. So I think all kudos to him. And the last question that I would like to ask uh, the author is, what was the most difficult part during this project?
I think, when you undertake such project, it requires commitment. And I think the time, because, all of us, are juggling between our career, juggling between our professional and personal life, family, kids. So I also underwent through the same. The time management has been one of the difficult thing, but I must, again express my gratitude to friends like Nitin, Mangesh, who have continuously, motivated, inspired me to, stay focused on writing and completing this project.
Wow, that's a very Buddhist way of saying thank you. And I will go back to again the host of this event, Mangesh sir. Mangesh sir, or simplest way, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu
Sadhu,
for
sadhu to all of
your
you.
work that you are doing, and we all are inspired. We take a lot of things, and we do not copy everything, but then we have a lot of freedom. As you say, we walk on the path, we look at each other, and we still look at you. And thank you so much for being
Sadhu,
there.
sadhu, sadhu, and see you in the next session, and see you in
And
Nagpur.
Milin sir also he's part of the journey that we are doing going together. So he probably I would request him to stay come to Nagpur on 10 September and give us little bit of thought on how to do business in Japan.
Very good, very good, very good, very good. So there is also this program on 10th, led by Nitin ji, and he is going to talk about how to do business with the Buddhist countries like Japan, Korea, Taiwan, China in the Buddhist way. So, it's going to be a day-long program which will be followed by the release of the book in the Central India. So you are all those who are from Nagpur or even nearby areas and from anywhere, you are all are welcome for that event. So thank you so much. We will conclude here with a lot of thanks to all of you, author and the guest speaker. See you in the next event.
Thank you.